Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, October the 10th, 2024. I'm Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the executive minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ+ community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ+ community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I'm Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform and social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Biden's recognition of LGBTQ history is consequential. President Joe Biden signed a letter acknowledging Equality Forum's LGBTQ History Month launch event by writing that, and I'm quoting, "By celebrating stories of bravery, resilience, and joy, your example inspires hope in all people seeking a life true to who they are," end quote. Malcolm Lazin, Equality Forum's executive director, said Biden's letter is consequential. Clinton Engelberge, writing for the Washington Blade, reminds us that Equality Forum is an LGBTQ civil rights organization with an educational focus based in Philadelphia. The group's work includes coordinating LGBTQ History Month, producing documentary films, and overseeing the application for and installation of government-approved queer historic markers. The Queer God Squad agrees that it matters when religious, political, civic, and academic leaders recognize and affirm minority groups. Inclusion and appreciation are vital to the health of communities, and for the president to say, in effect, "We see you and appreciate what you bring to the table," is more than symbolic. You know, I am of the age where I remember when Ronald Reagan would not say AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't do it. And I also remember President Clinton. He did some good things, but he also put out the DOMA, Defense of Marriage Act, saying that marriage was between one man and one woman. So there have also been other presidents that have just, been silent on the topic of LGBTQ rights. So for President Biden, the person in the highest office here in the United States, the world possibly, to acknowledge LGBTQ history, LGBTQ people, what we do, what we bring to the table, is really consequential.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah. The other presidents have taken meetings with
Yes.
the first being Carter. Carter took a meeting with gay leaders. But not him personally. He had a staff person do it, but they came to the White House. It was a big deal. I think President one or both Bushes did actually meet with people, face to face, but that's still on the low a little bit.
Right.
President Obama would light up the thing with rainbow colors. So there's been little nods, whatever. But every time that happens, it is telling people who are often overlooked, or who are denied access, or who are demoralized or demonized, whenever the authority figure treats you like a person,
Yeah.
treats you like you deserve to be treated like a human with dignity and respect, that affirms that person, and it also shows everyone else this is what we do. This is how we are to behave with one another. So it is more than symbolic. It is symbolic, but it's a powerful symbol, and but it's also it's a life-giving to the person, and it's demonstrative to the rest of us. Like this is how adults behave. So it's very, very important, and he's done so much of these kinds of things. He's been just a truly good person.
Yes.
Not the most dramatic, not the best communicator sometimes, not the most energetic, and yet just one solid thing after another, just one caring thing after another has been the hallmark and a legislatively very active 4 years. He's going to be well remembered by historians and political scientists in the years ahead, and not least of which for how he treated people who weren't just white, straight, rich. That it takes all kinds of people to make up this country, and he's tried to be president to all of those people.
Yes.
I remember talking about hearkening back to the past. I remember reading in the newspaper about the Stonewall uprising and wondering how that was going to play out with the rest of the world. I was 12 going on 13 and just beginning to understand my same-sex attraction, to look out and see that there were people who were like me who had the strength and the guts to stand up to authority made me feel good. And then the American Psychological Association in 1973 said that being gay, being a homosexual, was not a disorder. It was not a dis-ease. It was something that came naturally. So compounding that year after year after year with different groups coming out saying that it's okay to be queer makes all the difference.
Yeah.
In order for us to be whole people, we have to make sure that the world sees us as whole people. And for the President of the United States, who, by the way, pulled another president of the United States out of the closet, in a sense, about gay marriage, he was the one who came out first and said that gay marriage is something that has to happen, and that pulled Obama.
That his boss had to catch up.
I'd forgotten about that. You're right.
Catch up.
Yeah.
So here we have Joe Biden doing as much as he can to ensure that the queer community is recognized throughout the world. And closer to home, on October 20th of this year, 2 members of this church, our senior minister and executive minister, are going to be canonized in a sense. They're going to be bishops of the Global Justice Institute. And the Global Justice Institute is going throughout the world trying to ensure that queer people are protected. And for us, for our church to have 2 of our leaders as a part now of that fellowship in a truly visible way truly tells the world that Sunshine Cathedral is the place that you can start your journey into wholeness. If not the end, it can at least be the beginning, because we walk the walk and talk the talk.
I said in a sermon several weeks ago, I'd been to a conference and I spoke at a conference, and there was a musician, and she would take what you'd spoken about and make a song of it on the spot. And after I spoke, her song, a lyric in her song was, "If you've been rejected, go to Sunshine Cathedral, you'll be protected." And
I love that. I think that's so great. Yes.
Much.
I have great appreciation when our president would stand up and be an ally.
Yes.
I think back to, and going back in time a little bit, wasn't that aware, but when President Carter was in office and he had all the Carter women, and really I've been honored and privileged to know one of the Carter women, and we stay in touch with her quite frequently, and just different things that presidents have done over the years. The presidents who walked the AIDS quilt when it was laid out on the national lawn, and those who didn't.
Yes.
That spoke volumes as well. When the White House first hung the AIDS ribbon, that was a powerful moment. And all the recognition the White House has done over the years. And so to see our president, our nation's president, lead yet again in a very different way to say, this is what it's all about. When presidents say, I'm a president to all of the people, President Joe Biden, I think, has been a prime example of what it means to be president to all of the people.
Yes.
And that he brings visibility to all of the people. So by him issuing this as a part of LGBTQ History Month, just as a reminder, this is what leadership looks like.
Yes.
Leadership is not about someone getting in a position to exclude people, but rather finding ways to continue to bring our communities together and bring visibility to them. And I think by bringing visibility to it, you also acknowledge the hurts, the wrongs, the moments of the acts of justice, the justice that needs to be done, and you offer a way for, okay, let's get around the table and talk about these things. I remember when President Obama had the faith-based coalition And we knew several clergy who were part of that
Right.
faith-based coalition at the round table. We were together with them on the Joshua the Boy. And so it's like, it says something when you can see us
Yes.
Yeah.
at those tables.
Yeah.
It is not for nothing. And so I think when we have moments to represent or be represented by someone like that, that is a true moment in time for all of us.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The Reverend Elder Frieda Smith used to say, if you want to make rabbit stew, the first thing you need is a rabbit. And so, yeah, if you want more inclusion of people, you start by acknowledging they exist and letting people
That's
see.
kind of the
that,
biggie.
yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what he's been good at is getting all the ingredients for a stew and letting people know he's cooking it up.
All right.
So, well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.